Hello, fellow Toastmasters. This video is designed to explain and give insight into being Toastmaster of the meeting. This recording will be broken down into 2 to 3 segments. The first being the Toastmaster responsibilities in preparation for a meeting. And then the second phase will be about what the Toastmaster needs to do during the meeting. While all the members in attendance are Toastmasters, the Toastmaster of the meeting is responsible for coordinating the meeting and also being the host of the meeting. And finally, ensuring that the meeting ends on time and that we go through all of the different phases on the agenda as effectively, efficiently as possible. Toastmaster of the meeting will also set the theme of the meeting as well as the tone. To start, when a member wants to sign up to be the Toastmaster of a meeting, they're first going to click on member login, enter their email and their password. Then they'll go ahead and log into the club website. Now that we are logged in, we're going to find ourselves at the members only tab. Then we'll click on meeting agendas. And the next thing that we'll do is go to this test agenda that has been created for April 24. And now we see the agenda for the meeting. And if I want to be the Toastmaster of that meeting, I just need to simply click sign up and it will plug in my name over here. Now that I am the Toastmaster, what I will do is simply refresh the page. And now in this section, I can see one function that wasn't there before, and it is this pencil icon, which allows me to edit this meeting agenda, which will come to use as Toastmaster of the meeting. One thing that I can do when I click on that is I can update the meeting description, where I can put in the meeting theme and I can put in the word of the day. Although the word of the day is not the responsibility of the Toastmaster of the meeting to decide on, should you know in advance, you would be able to plug the word in right over here. So we'll close that for now. By being Toastmaster of the meeting, you will be notified via email whenever any changes occur. Perhaps a member signs up for a role, you will get an email notification saying who signed up and for which role. If a member has signed up for a role, but then they realize that they can't attend the meeting and they drop their role, you'll also get a notification of that removal for the role. If I am the Toastmaster for the April 24th meeting, 1 week before, exactly 1 week before the meeting, my responsibility is to send an email to all members introducing the theme of the meeting, as well as asking for any of the empty roles to be filled. The objective of the Toastmaster of the meeting is to have an agenda as full as possible before the day of the meeting, just to ensure that we don't have to scramble to fill up any remaining roles, and current members that are already serving in roles don't have to take on additional roles. We definitely want to spread out the participation amongst all members. And by having this in advance, it's going to allow the Toastmaster of the meeting to have a smoother experience when they host the meeting. If I want to send an email to all the members introducing the agenda, I will move my cursor over the envelope icon and click email this meeting agenda. On the top left, I have to decide to which audience am I going to send this email. And I'll just find and click all club members. If any members reply to the email, you can indicate who those replies will go to. And in this case, we would leave Toastmaster checked. In options, there's a couple of customizing features that we have. For example, we will include the meeting description, the role times, role descriptions, member photos, and meeting venue. Is having the member photos entirely necessary? No, but it's nice because it adds a face to a name for those that have submitted their photos in their club website profiles. So we will leave this as is. The email subject will populate. You don't have to touch this. It's pretty clear. The club, the meeting agenda for April 24, 2024. And then in this box, you can proceed with typing in whatever you would like. Maybe you can do something like this. The theme of the meeting is moving. We need the following roles filled. Then you can kind of list those out there. Another responsibility would be to mention the speakers. If there are any prepared speakers that have signed up on the agenda, it's best that they come up with the information about their speech ahead of time. One way to do that is they can simply, the member can go into the block where it says the speech, and then they can update information such as their speech title, which project and pathways it's going to complete. And they can also put an introduction. The introduction is basically an outline of the way that the speaker would like to be introduced. And in most cases, the Toastmaster will just read it word for word, just so that we can make sure that we are saying what the speaker wants us to say. Once we've outlined this information, then we can simply click on send email, and it's going to send the email to all club members, and you yourself will receive an email, and that will give you an idea of what the other members see. In this case, we're not sending anything, so we're going to simply just close this. So nothing has happened. If you want to print the agenda, you can click print here. You'll select close. It will be FTH standard, and then you can include these options. You could even include the member photos if you wish, and then press OK, and that's going to open a dialog box where you can see the agenda. And of course, it doesn't have to be printed in color. The other thing that you can do, which is recommended, is to print out any speaker introductions. This will open up if you happen to see if any of the speakers actually entered an introduction for their speech. This would appear on this page. As none of them have, this is going to appear blank. Now we'll exit out over here. Another feature in the agenda will be meeting reports. And in this customization, you can also manage the attendance. If a member reaches out to you and says that they are unable to attend, you can mark them as no and then click save. And that will mean that they cannot be added to any section of the agenda because, of course, they will not be in attendance. Let's go ahead and talk about some responsibilities in the meeting. The Toastmaster of the meeting is responsible for hosting the meeting, as well as setting the tone, the theme, and getting us through each phase of the meeting. An important aspect of doing that is making sure that we are transitioning to every phase as close to on time as possible. And that's why the agenda is very important, because this gives you an outline as to how long each section should take. This will also help you manage the time of the meeting. Should the meeting start late, for example, let's say you start at 7:05 instead of 7 o'clock, You have to keep that in mind because you'll have to make up for those 5 minutes elsewhere in the agenda. As we go through here, you can see the different parts of the agenda and the amount of time that they should take. This agenda will be your guide because once we get through all of the functionary roles, where we allow the functionaries to explain their role, we jump into table topics, in which the topics master will give a 1 minute explanation, and then they will begin their table topic session, which is going to be 15 minutes. If the table topic session begins at, let's say, 7:30, then unfortunately, you would only have 5 minutes. The topics master would only have 5 minutes to ask questions. At that point, at 7:35, you can, as the Toastmaster, you do have the ability to kindly and respectfully interrupt the topics master or give some sort of verbal cue that the topics master will have to wrap up the session after the last question has concluded. This may mean that not all members will be called upon. That's why it's important that the topics master focuses on calling members who do not have a larger speaking role, such as being a prepared speaker or an evaluator. We'll go through these different sections, the speakers, and then we go through here. And then another larger section will be the general evaluator completing the meeting evaluation. The person is given 10 minutes to complete this. So also do keep in mind that if the meeting is running late, you can do the following. You can, to start off, mention that the general evaluator will only have a certain number of minutes to complete the evaluation. You can even ask the timer to give the general evaluator the red light or the green light once they've hit that maximum amount of time, so that it tells the general evaluator to wrap things up. If that doesn't work, you can kindly find a segment where you can respectfully interrupt the general evaluator and then move on with the rest of the meeting. A key part of any Toastmasters meeting is to finish as close to on time as possible, to be respectful of not only the members' time, but also the guests that may be in attendance. The Toastmaster will give final remarks and pass it on to the Vice President membership. Then the Vice President Education will call for the next meeting. The President will give some club business or final announcements, and then we adjourn at 8:33 p.m. This is essentially a guideline for any members who are going to take the Toastmaster of the meeting role. And it is designed so that the Toastmaster of the meeting can be prepared and understand their responsibilities both before the meeting and during the meeting. I hope this helps.